first move he makes before the club hits the ball is he's pushing this direction. You can actually see his left knee straighten as soon as he pushes and goes that way. And so that gets the body moving, and then from there they swing and throw the club back. I mean, I've heard that like Bryson, like the first reading of Bryson's driver in the backswing is 40 miles an hour. It goes from like 0 to 40 in an instant.
So we were just kind of talking about it with Bryson. There's a video of him with Como. I just want to touch on this quick because I think it kind of goes with what we were talking about in the rope. And Bryson's also a hot figure in golf right now, right?
Sure.
This video with Como, I don't know the exact circumstances because it was a clip I saw, but I think they were talking about generating speed in a way. And here, I'll give you the club.
Well, so it was like just what we were just talking about with swinging the rope, right? That most golfers are trying to stay down and they get the club moving with the arms, right? And like there's an expression that good golf starts from the ground up. So, but if you ask golf instructors or anybody, you know, if you have 10 golf instructors, what starts the backswing, you'll probably get 10 different answers. In my opinion, a good golf swing starts from the ground up. That's not just a downswing motion or downswing thing. That starts the backswing as well. And so you see it in Bryson where he's pushing and going this way before the club even moves. You see that a lot. It's evident you can see that a lot with Rory with the driver, right? Rory, who's not he's our size, better shape obviously, but he generates a lot of speed. And the first move he makes before the club hits the ball is he's pushing this direction. You can actually see his left knee straighten as soon as he pushes and goes that way. And so that gets the body moving, and then from there they swing and throw the club back. I mean, I've heard that like Bryson, like the first reading of Bryson's driver in the backswing is 40 miles an hour. It goes from like 0 to 40 in an instant.
Wow.
Because he's getting his body moving and going this way very, very quickly.
So that, I just thought about this. What do you think when you have maybe a new student or a student who you've been teaching comes with this idea, well, I've just been trying to swing it a little slower on the way back. Slow down my backswing. Like, what do you...
That's bad advice. That's bad advice. Now, when I say that is the reason that it helps them. So again, generally people go, oh, I'm swinging back too fast, and then they'll go slower is because they get the arms and the pivot more synced up. Generally, when they're going back too fast, is they're moving their arms too quickly, right? So they make this motion, and then they start trying to turn their body. So they go, okay, I'm gonna go back slower. So now they slow down their arms, and so now they get their body moving. Right. But again, I want the golfer doing the work in the backswing very, very early. So there's like the expression that the golfer swings the club, and then the club swings the golfer. And as the club is swinging the golfer in the backswing, the golfer's starting to change directions, and then the golfer swings the club, and then the club swings the golfer, and then the golfer stops the swing. Okay, so I want to see golfers working hard and get it to this position, and letting the club and the momentum that they work to kind of finish the swing in the upper body and the arms here as they start to change directions. If they're going back, the slower you go back this way, the longer you're going to have to work up to the top. And the longer you work, like you want that peak speed kind of happening right about chest height, so that you can let the club slow down and then you can change directions. But if I'm working really long on the club here, couldn't work all the way up to the top, well, then I have to work harder to stop it, right? So then I'm going to get quick from the top. So it can almost be like a little correlation between like how slow you go back, get fast from the top. If I get fast early and change directions, right, then I don't have to work as hard anymore.
So it just kind of takes care of itself, right?
Well, in a way. And then again, the other thing, the Tour Tempo kind of came out with, they looked at the last 100 men's major winners, and 97 of them, which there's an overlap, right? Like, because the last 100, Tiger has, 15 of them. So there's an overlap there, but they had a 3-to-1 tempo, whereas the backswing took, like, let's say 0.75 seconds, and the downswing took 0.25 seconds. So it's 97%. That's a pretty eye-opening thing to where it's like that's something probably most people ought to do. It's not unusual to see people go back really, 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 really slow and then try to have fast. And they have to, because if they go back really, really, really slow and they start down really, really slow, they're going to get really, really short. But if they come down really, really fast, it's hard to control the club face.
They kind of lose it out there. I thought something that was really cool when I kind of met Dr. Kwan and we talked about it a little bit. You said he had worked with Hideki a little bit, and Hideki's known for pausing, right? But now, if you look at his swing today, it's very minimal. Like I don't even know if it really pauses that much.
But it kind of fluctuates in and out about a time he pauses at the top.
Yeah.
He's obviously doing a lot of us.
Yeah, but Kwan they kind of found with their 3D system and the force and all that, he was actually was it losing energy or how was it worded?
Yeah, I mean, again, so when you put energy into the backswing, it's going to help you put energy into the backswing, right? So it's like there's a system here. But if I go up to the top and I stop, the longer I stop, I'm losing the impulse of what I put in here.
Yeah.
So now as I start down, I don't have it. Now he didn't stay up there for 2 seconds, right? But enough to where what he's done in the backswing can make it difficult to change the direction. To kind of take the energy, put it into the backswing.
Yeah.
Bring it down. There's we want to try to we want to try to feel like the arms in the club or finishing the backswing is from the ground up. We start to change directions and start moving the club the other way. That's going to make it much easier. It's much easier athletic and dynamic motion as opposed to kind of everything kind of stopping at the top and starting.
Yeah. And then how about I don't know his name, the long drive guy that does he almost like does he do the double pump? Is that their guy?
Oh no, that's
yes.
Seth. I think Seth. Wow, I'm Seth.
There's something like that.
He kind of like it pumps down and he pulls back up and then he pumps back down.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I can't explain it from scientific. I'm sure there's a good explanation there scientifically.
That's all right.
To where he's like going up here and he's like pulling down and he pulls back up and then pulls back down.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, he's almost like restarting, like he's like, yeah, he's like,
It's almost like he's making 2 backswings to put like more energy into the system.
yeah,
It's almost like he's going up. Kind of makes this backswing up here, and then like, let's do it again and try to get a little bit more energy. So he's using the energy from the first backswing to kind of like make a second backswing, to try to get a little bit more energy into the system,
yeah,
into the backswing. And again, the more work you put in here going back, the easier it's going to be down at the bottom not to work at all, right? That's the goal, is trying to feel like, like the effortless looking golf swings where the guys are just moving through so effortlessly. It's generally because they're working really hard early, and then they're letting the club and the work they do here do the work. So it looks like they're not really moving, right? And then as they change directions, they work really, really hard, and then they just let the club swing through. Where the average golfer is like working the whole time to try to move the club.
yeah. So we talked a lot about physics and talked about some different things here and there. When a new student, like if somebody watching this would want to come work with you, they could feel a little overwhelmed hearing all the physics talk. But like when you talk to students, how do you go about it? Right? You're not.
Yeah, I don't try to. I mean, sometimes I do because it helps me think.
Yeah. Right.
But most of the time, we're coming up with some type of jargon to talk about like what we're talking about, right? So like I use like Sasha McKenzie talks a lot about riding a bike down a hill. I think so. As you're coming down, like you're letting trying to get the bike to go so fast that as you're coming down the hill, it's just you're pedaling, right? But the bike's moving faster than you're pedaling, right? That's the way the swing ought to feel, right? So as you're coming down into here, it's like, yeah, you're working, right? But you're just letting the momentum of the work take you to carry it. Yeah. So that's don't hit a ball. So like I'm not going to talk to them all about like momentum and force production and stuff like that, right? We'll just talk a lot of times about how just feeling like we're going to bring our arms down to here and then just like turning with that either ball or like coasting to the finish or just different jargon words to try to get a sense of what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
A lot of times I try to let the students come up with those words too.
Yeah. And just kind of, so you use their language basically.
Yeah, they kind of come up with their own thing. Like I had a student one time, right? He was the top, feels like he said he was swordsy, like he was sword fighting at the top, right? So I would say to him, hey, man, you're getting swordsy there at the top. So it's like, okay. And if he knew that, I'd say swordsy. He's like, okay, he was actually talking.
And you just roll with it. Yeah.
So it's like, that's fun, right?
Yeah, and then I guess the last thing we'll kind of ask you about is I have a lot of students come, especially in the off season. Some doing during the season, they want to generate more clip head speed, right? So I found through using the rope and understanding the pushing and the forces a little bit better, how to help students create more speed, right? So like if someone comes to you with that, I know there's tons of like training aids out there, but I found like without using like speed sticks and all these different things, if I just get them actually using the ground better, right, pushing and all that, I can speed their swing up really, really fast, right, and a lot faster than they think, and things don't get crazy. They actually, I found a lot of students, if I speed them up and get them using the ground better, the face kind of neutrals out too, and the control a little better.
Yeah, so I mean, statistically, people have this idea that if you try to hit it farther, that you're going to hit it more crooked. And but the research, or basically the research isn't the right word, but the reality of it is that's false.
Yeah.
Right? So if you think of average golfer can't get 100 miles an hour club head speed, tour players are swinging at 120, and a tour player is a lot straighter than your general 15 handicap who swings at 90. So I think the problem people run into when they're working on speed training is they're trying to create more force. And so usually that's out of rhythm, meaning they're not trying to create force with the whole system. They're trying to create more force with, like, say, their arms, or they're trying to create more force with their legs, or they're trying to spin really hard. Right?
Yeah.
So that's where, when it comes to generating speed, it doesn't do you any good to get up that speed up to, from, let's just kind of make a number, say from 90 to 110, and just by more force production and messing the rhythm up. So by doing things like swinging the rope, step drills that require rhythm to that, and on top of the speed, you'll get faster and you'll get straighter. So, like, just a quick story is in 2014, I took a student to see Dr. Kwan, who was about 6'1", hockey player, worked out every day, looked like a fitness model, right? And then you have Todd with a dad bod. We go out and play, and I hit it past him.
Yeah.
And his up head speed was about 107 miles an hour when he could hit the fairway. And he had these like drop kick hooks into the fairway. If you tried to ramp it up at all, it was in the wrong fairway.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw Dr. Kwan, started swinging a rope, and did the step drill. Just those two things, right? And that's really all we worked on. 6 months later, he comes to Barrington, and he's hitting balls on the range, and the club head speed was 128 miles an hour. And after about 10 balls, he looked at me and he said, I never thought I'd hit this straight. He wasn't shocked that they were going 320 in the air, whatever they were going. He was shocked that it was just so straight. And the reason they were so straight is because he didn't just learn how to create more force.
Yeah.
He learned how to synchronize his segments and rhythm in such a way that it just made it very, very easy for him to swing it. So that's why I got faster. It's like anything. Like when I drove here this morning, I put the keys in the ignition, I put the car in reverse, and I jacked back down the driveway, and I did all that without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
I did it very, very quickly. I was talking to you on the phone.
Yeah.
Right? And so I did it very quickly because I've done it 100 times, 100,000 times. I've done it so many times that it's just, there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And so when you get the rhythm down of how you're supposed to move, if you get the sequencing down, then you can speed it up, speed it up. And that's the other thing too, is the concept of time. Faster golf swings, go faster.
Yeah.
Most people again have thought, take it back low, slow, right? And again, that's a relative term. You've heard tour players say that. Nicholas used to say that, I go back low and slow, but if you look at the time for his swing, it was not slow.
Yeah.
It was low and slow to him because he could probably go a lot faster,
Yeah.
right? But most people are going a lot slower than they should.